Hi everyone, hope we're doing well. Well, normally when I come down here, some of you might recognise the pumping station here. You get a beautiful view across the reservoir to the viaduct where the Great Central Railway crosses over, but today, yeah, we're fog bound. So let's talk about the transition into the science mess like Keith did. I did a post recently where someone had asked me if I called Keith Sir, and I explained why I didn't. But I also mentioned about when I got promoted to sergeant and moved into the science mess in Gaza Barracks in Catterick. So yeah, it was a big transition, wasn't it? You know, jumping from corporal to sergeant. And as Keith said, in our day, yeah, you had to go and buy your mess dress, which cost a couple of £100. I've actually still got my mess dress, and I can still get into it. But yeah, it was a couple of £100, so you had to pay for that. You hadn't got a big pay rise or anything like that, so it was all coming out of your own pocket. But in the mess, there was various rules, yeah. And with the fact that I was with the REME, we used to get involved in various regiments. And there was various rules for various regiments, which was a bit of a problem because you had to find out what they were. Yeah, I mean, one of them for the Scots Dragoon Guards was a thing called hanging the brick. And what it was the RSM would scream out, hanging the brick. He'd go and put the brick up behind the bar. If you could get out of the mess before the brick got hung, you ended up, you know, you could get out. If you didn't get there before the brick got hung, you were there. I ended up in the mess for a weekend. And this was in the days before mobile phones. So I couldn't inform my wife that I've been stuck in the mess all weekend. And she wondered what the bloody hell was going on. But there's other various traditions within various science messes. But the science mess is, as Keith said, it's an exclusive club, but it's one that you've worked hard to get into. Yeah. So things like your etiquette, your demeanour, everything was monitored while you were in the science mess. And if you didn't meet the standards, you were tabbing the boards in front of the RSM, quite rightly so. But the fact you'd been in the quarters mess beforehand probably gave you an insight into what was right and what was wrong. Yeah. And most people will tell you the British Army is run from the science mess. Any unit is run from the science mess. Yeah, we've got commissioned officers that are above us, but they're purely there as figureheads. Yeah, the actual British Army is actually run from the science mess, with the regimental sergeant major sitting at the head of the table. Dinner nights could be fun, yeah, especially as a new sergeant being posted into the science mess. You were Mr. Vice, and one of the things you had to do was entertain the rest of the mess when the RSM and any dignitaries that may be within left the table. You would always yeah, get your food delivered, but you would not pick up your knife and fork and start eating until the RSM has started eating. Yeah, so there's various rules that you had to abide by. But the science mess was one of the clubs that I hold dear. I've still got in my cruising room at home, I've still got a sort of presentation that was given to me by the science mess at 39 Heavy. And I felt so privileged to be in the mess. Yeah, I ended up as being the PEC, the Entertainments Committee member for various messes, so I had to organise the various functions, summer do's, Christmas do's, discos, whatever. Yeah, and I enjoyed it with relish. I really did. Yeah, because I was setting things up. People were very appreciative. Some people weren't. There were some people, oh, this was crap. When I always used to say to them, yeah, where if you think you can do better, come on the entertainment committee, yeah, and let's see what you can put forward. But the transition was big, yeah. You suddenly moved from talking with the guys on the ground in a normal manner to the point where you had to slightly distance yourself from them, yeah. Now, I tried not to distance myself from the guys on the ground too much. One of the things that happened to me later on, after I'd been posted at Catterick, I got my lads to call me boss. I didn't want to be known as Sergeant Clark, yeah, or Nobby, you know, call me boss. That way it was formal, but it was informal. And I actually had a tiffy once say to me, there's no such rank as boss in the British Army. No, there isn't. But it was a way that the lads could show some respect. Not once did they call me boss when the OC was around or the Colonel was around. It was always Sergeant Clark, yeah. But any other time they would call me boss. When we were downtown, some would call me boss, some might call me Nobby. And I'd let them get away with that because we were away from the barracks, we were downtown, we were having a laugh, having a beer. But it just showed some respect. And that went on right the way through until the time I left the army in 2000. Yeah, most people called me boss. And I was quite happy with that. But it's that transition, isn't it? Getting used to moving up the ladder. Middle management, as Keith said. Yeah, the guys in the quarters mess, they were like the foreman in Civvy Street, yeah, running the shop floor. We were the middle management leading up to the big bosses like the managing director and so on. And it was a great time. And I miss the science mess, the camaraderie and everything, yeah. You don't get it so much nowadays in Civvy Street and clubs, but that camaraderie that you had in the science mess, like naffy break, yeah, or as it was known in the mess, it was probably toast time, yeah. You go to the science mess, you'd have tea and toast, then you'd go back down to work. Sometimes you'd eat your lunch in the science mess. If you were a pad, married person, yeah, you could go and eat in the science mess, but that'd be added onto your mess bill. And that was the other big thing, the transition, the mess bill. You've already bought your mess kit, and then you got your mess bill as well, which sometimes, you know, would be quite extortionate due to the fact of the amount of functions you've gone to. Or if you've had dinner in the mess, that'd be on your mess bill. So you'd end up paying that at the end of the month. So like I say, I don't know how the science mess runs now, or even if it still exists, to be honest. I've heard rumours that it's not as frequented as it was before. If that is the case, it's very sad. You know, the facility's there for the guys, they can use it. Anyway, if this is your first time to my channel, there's the other one, Let's Tab 59, my colleague called Keith. Never served together, but we are extremely good friends. Yeah, if you come across our channels and you're thinking, oh, this seems a bit interesting, please consider subscribing. Not telling you to subscribe, just asking you to consider it. Because the more the channel grows, the more it gets out there, the more help we can do for people. So I'm going to finish off my breakdown there at the reservoir. Then I'm going to tab back another 2.5 miles back to my home. So while we've got this fog down, please be aware of what you're doing, especially if you're driving. Make sure your lights are on, yeah. Be aware of the other idiots that are on the road, because you may be the safest driver, it's the other numpties you've got to worry about. So everyone, take care, stay safe, and as Keith says, let's tab.